Hi there, good day, it's Sandra here, and I am talking today all about teams. I don't know about you, but I was watching the football this week and it's been amazing, hasn't it? And nerve jangling, edge of seat stuff from our England squad. But what a glorious win they had at the semi-finals, and yeah, really fabulous. And it's got me thinking about teams, and you know, as leaders we're all involved in teams, whether we're team players often, whether we are team leaders, whether we are forming new teams, adding to old, etc. And I think we've really got to be clear as a leader about our stance on teams, about what our teams are there for, whether we actually want to be part of a team, and the different types of teams. There's some fabulous work by Kazanbak and Smith, I get that right, called The Wisdom of Teams. And in the book they talk about the difference between working groups and high performing teams. And it's a really good perspective actually in terms of what is it that you want to create with your teams. You know, we talk about high performing teams, but to get that, it's really hard work, and we often only really see it truthfully in sporting teams such as our amazing England squad right now. So what I did want to talk to you about though was a couple of the dysfunctions of a team from the work by Patrick Lencioni. I hope that's how we say his name. He wrote it a few years ago now, and he called it the 5 dysfunctions of a team. And the 5 dysfunctions are where there is a lack of trust, a lack of accountability, a lack of conflict, or handling conflict anyway, a lack of commitment, and a lack of accountability. So I thought I would talk about a couple of these with you today, and just again give you some food for thought for yourself and your teams. You know, this is these are really common, whether you are not working as a not-for-profit, whether you're leading an organisation, whether you're on a project team. These 5 dysfunctions happen across, one of the 5 happens across the board. So useful to think about yourself and diagnose where perhaps you might need some support with your team and team function. So the first one I wanted to talk about was lack of trust. Now, lack of trust is very common again, because you know, to really trust one another, you've got to really understand each other, you've got to appreciate and respect where other people are coming from, and that can take time. You know, people tend to be on different ends of the spectrum, whether they trust people almost immediately or whether you have to earn trust. And I was reminded of the trust equation. I don't know if you're familiar with this, but the trust equation is really good actually, because it almost gives a bit of a scale, and it's a mathematical equation if you like. And it says that trust is defined, or trust equals the following factors: your credibility, so how credible are you as an individual and as a leader? Therefore I need that in order to trust you. How reliable are you? Will you say what you're going to do? And are you consistent around that? And the third one is around intimacy, although I prefer the word safety actually. How safe do I feel that what I share with you will be treated with respect and will be confidential, or will there be mutterings down the corridor afterwards, or talking to other team members? That happens such a lot. And what the equation is, you add those 3 up, the credibility, the reliability, and the intimacy or safety, and you divide it by what's known as the self, so self-importance. So if you're kind of very high on you and your needs and your demands and what your requirements are, it will diminish the power at the top. So the small, if you gave marks out of 10, for example, if you're more like a 1 or 2 on that, then it will make sure that the trust is much higher. So a really nice equation for you, really. Just think about that yourself. So think about other people in your life and how much you trust them. And my guess will be you'll trust them more because it's less about you, and you think they've got great credibility, the reliability, and you genuinely feel safe with them. I know myself, the people that I trust the most are those where all of those really matter and are really high, and those I feel less safe with, then obviously the number's lower. Anyway, waffling on as usual. So that's the first one around trust, and have you got good trust in the team? Do you all trust one another to the point where, if you took that England team that Gareth Southgate's formed, you know, the trust is incredibly high. They absolutely trust each other, and it's eminent, and you can see it, can't you? Second one I wanted to touch on was accountability and the lack of accountability. And so often when we're working in teams, we are self-focused because teams aren't fully defined properly, and we are focused on our own results, our own portfolio, our own performance, and we are less inclined to think about other people and their accountability. So where great teams work really well is that they hold each other to account. So they're very clear in terms of what each other are to deliver, very clear on team strengths, very clear on the uniqueness and the contribution and the role that every member plays, and they will talk about what's being committed to, and will hold them to account. And I have an accountability buddy in my work, and it's really good. We actually speak every single day, but what she does is she'll say, right, you said you're going to deliver X, have you or haven't you? And having that external person who is asking you those awkward questions and being there for you is amazing. And she also picks me up, if I have a bit of a bad week or whatever, she'll be there to help and support, but predominantly she's there for me to commit to, and for her to see whether I've done it or not. A very simple process and a really powerful one. So if you don't think that the team are committed, if you don't think that the team are holding each other to account, that could be a really good way of doing it. But often that there's a confusion between, well, I'm accountable for my area, but what actually is the team accountable for? That's a whole other avenue of discussion, isn't it? What are we holding each other to account for, and how are we going to do that? Anyway, I better shoot. I've got. Oh, do you like that? Shoot. I've got lots to crack on with. So anyway, hope you are enjoying your day. Hope you have a lovely weekend, and I look forward to speaking to you again soon. Take care. Bye.